You're tuned in to iLLANOiZE Radio, Chicago's most valuable radio show. And as always, we bring you guys the illest guests from around the city and globe. And today we got the homie Ausar in the building. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Man.
Finally.
Welcome back.
Finally.
First of all, I just want to be the first one to say that it has been like 2 years since our last interview, and Ausar got his knees done.
Okay.
Because he grew. He hit a growth spurt.
Hit a growth spurt.
I don't know nobody that's hit a growth spurt in adulthood.
Listen.
So what you been eating?
I don't know. It would be raw if I did hit a growth spurt for real, though, because I really want to be like 6'6". I think that's like...
Well,
How tall are you
how
now?
tall are you now?
I'm 6'3".
Oh, you close.
Oh, yeah.
You can,
I just need like...
Just eat
niggas
your rice
can't really
and cabbage.
eyeball height, so you can say you 6'6".
I think Mud's going to be like, you pushing it.
I'm 6'5" and a half. Just round it.
Damn, you 6 feet?
6'3".
I'm 6'3".
Damn, Ausar, you was not 6'3" last time.
was.
Damn.
Right, he was not.
I was.
No, you
I
was
promise
not.
y'all I was.
Hecky nah.
I mean, you was always one of
I
the
thought he
tallest
was
in
like-
the room. I didn't know you was that damn
tall.
tall.
I thought he was like 5'10".
Nah, I would at
Listen.
least gave him like a 6 feet. I don't know, maybe like 5'11" the last time I saw you.
Me?
Oh, damn,
we
you
have
short
a photo
arm, man.
together.
I have
We
literally
actually
been
have a photo
6'2" since I
together.
was 16.
No,
That's dope.
You're
Yes.
kidding.
That's a bar. That's a bar.
Look. You gonna put that in his next verse.
I'm going to go ahead and just...
That was so effortless. We just,
I can see you spitting that, though.
You feel me? Now I'm actually going to put it in something.
Jones, that's all you need to send ad-libs.
Oh,
Give me a
dead.
shout out. I like to be shouted out.
now it's been what, 2 years since we had you up in here, man.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
So we in the pandemic now. How have you
In the
been? I know, right? How you been? Mentally. How you been health wise? How everything been going for you through this pandemic?
It's been ups and downs on all fronts, to keep it all the way a buck. But we here, we good, we in good health. I have no complaints, and God really just been looking out the entire time. I feel like everything like included and accounted for, things could have been a lot worse than what they are right now, but everybody is still good and we making strides, so I'm grateful.
You still working?
Still working.
Okay, you still got some stable income coming in. You got health. You got benefits.
You feel me? All of that.
Oh, the real. Look.
What a time to be alive.
Look, it's a beautiful thing, and quite honestly, I don't think I would want to work anywhere else right now because I don't got to travel nowhere. I live basically on campus where I work, so I ain't got to go nowhere. It's smooth. I'm cool.
You live where you work.
Yeah, I work with high school kids who are here like internationally for boarding school. Actually, yeah.
What made you take interest in this gig here?
Shoot, it was right down the street
Y'all
from the
was hiring.
crib.
I needed the dough.
Look, it honestly was perfect, G. Like, I lived down the street from, or lived down the street from.
Did you just say lived it?
Lived. I lived down the street from where they stationed. Housing is free. They give me a spot to stay. I was an RA for 3 years in college, so what I'm doing is very similar to RA work. It's just a lot more in depth. Kids is cool. It's like actual, I don't know, I feel like I couldn't do a 9 to 5 unless it has some meaning behind it. And you feel me, working with high schoolers and like actually doing things that affect their lives, like that means something to me.
Do you play your music for them? Like, yo, what this sound like?
No, but they found me.
Oh.
And that was interesting when that happened because I started working there before the Rhythm and Flow episode dropped.
Okay.
And then it dropped. And then they were like,
Is that you?
Oh, they
Yeah.
looking at you like
Arpeggio?
yeah, like you know that Diddy gif where everybody looking back and forth at each other? Just like it was
looking
one
at
of them.
them. You like, come on, just let it out.
Just let it out.
It's like, don't even. It's me. Yeah, that's me.
I knew it was over when one of them followed me on IG, and I was just like, "Gee, how did you just find me?" Then I got to school the next day, and they were like, "Mr. Bradley." I was like, "Oh shoot!" They found me, and then like 5 more of them followed me on IG. So I was like, "Yeah, they found out."
It's a rap. It's
Yeah,
no
it's a rap.
longer under the wraps. I
Yeah.
mean, speaking of Rhythm and Flow, you was on Clubhouse for Friday. Lupe had a Clubhouse where he made a record live. And he brought you up to speak. And you asked the man about arpeggio.
I had to, G. I had to. Low key, that was Josie's idea. I had a whole nother question that I asked at first. And while I was asking it, Josie shot me a DM and was like, G, you literally have to ask him about arpeggio if you know what it means. So it was cool. It was funny. I'm glad that he took it the way he did.
Yeah. It was cool. It was dope, him responding on it. And then saying, he remember.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, that's Ausar. Yeah, and broke down the whole rhythm and I always rhythm and flow. There we go.
Yeah.
Broke it down. Now, I mean, you break down rhythm and flow. How was that for you to land on a platform like that?
It was cool. I think, in all honesty, and I don't think I've ever said this before out loud, but like, I think the way it ended was perfect for me. Because looking back now, had I progressed any further, I don't think I would have been ready for what came with it. And then on top of that, like it lit a fire up under me. It really did. One thing that I've learned about myself within like the past year and a half, 2 years, is that I hate to lose. Like I really, really hate to lose.
So that really put
He
the fire in
smoked
I
you.
would say you
Yeah.
handled that pretty well. Man. You handled
Yeah.
your losses pretty well.
Yeah.
I handled it well on the outside,
Oh, on the inside.
but on the inside,
He was
So
blue.
tell us about what
Yeah.
happened on the inside.
on the inside, I probably was fuming for like the next 3-4 months.
Damn.
Yeah.
What calmed
like,
you down?
Huh?
What calmed you down?
Honeybee.
Um,
I'm sorry.
For real.
I couldn't pass the opportunity up. I'm sorry.
no, I think it was a mixture of a couple of things. Like, I don't know. I think originally I was tying my worth as an artist to the fact that I didn't progress past the first round.
Right.
And I had to get out of that mindset of like, this is a show. Like, this is one opportunity out of many that you've had and will have. You know what I'm saying? This in no way reflects who you are as a person, as an artist, etc. You still got room left to grow. Like, it's a lot more in store for you. And then it just did nothing for me to just sit there upset. Like, you gonna sit here mad for the rest of your life?
Because you felt like I'm the illest nigga up here. Like y'all, out of all the niggas y'all could cut, y'all cut me. Come on now, like did y'all hear what I was saying in my shit? Tip, do you really want me to recite these bars a cappella, bro?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm confident in myself as an artist. And I feel like I can hang with some of anybody. And I feel like if you want to be great at your craft, you have to feel that way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And you can lyrically. I watched the episode and I was like, yo, turn it off. And then I was like, that's the only reason why I watched it. I'm like, I know somebody on here. Let me show love.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't no point in watching this no more.
It was a cool experience though. Like,
How was it?
It was cool. The actual like process up until that point was pretty extensive. I think I got the original call in October of that year.
Okay.
And I don't think we didn't have the audition you all saw till January. So from October to January, there were other like preliminary auditions we were doing. And it was like, I don't know, like we were sending back and forth video auditions because Muzz couldn't meet up in person yet. And it was very rapid and fast paced, like week after week. But it was cool. I enjoyed it. That part I actually really enjoyed.
At least you enjoyed it. And,
Yeah.
and thinking back how you said you don't take competition well, good thing you lost early. Because imagine if you went deep.
Yeah.
Probably still be pissed.
He probably would have been in there flipping shit over. Fuck this shit. Oh, yo, man. First time anybody would have heard the first time.
That would have been the first time.
Fuck this. Tim, trap music was whack. Cardi should have won them damn Grammys. Kings, you don't get no more.
The big what?
Fuck Netflix.
Wait, not
I'm
chance you don't
canceling
get no more.
Oh man, look.
Netflix.
So I gotta ask you too. Do you see yourself doing, something like that again? Taking on the competition visually.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. This is family. Before the pandemic hit,
You auditioned for The Voice?
no, very random side note, G. I can say that. I did get hit up to do an audition for American Idol. Very random side note. And the dude who hit me, I was like, G, I can sing a little bit, but I don't think I can't sing like that. And he was just like, no, we're looking to expand, come do the audition. And so I did it. And I was just like, I know what the outcome of this is going to be. I have no stake in this because I know what I just did. And so he hits me back like a day or two. They were like, yeah, they loved your rapping ability. The singing, they thought it was some room left to grow. You wasted both of our time. I told you that. I told you that. I did. Yeah. But, no, to your original point, like, before the pandemic hit, I was on track to, like, do it again for the next season for Rhythm and Flow. But, you know, due to circumstances, like, didn't get to continue to audition because they just had to nip it in the bud. So, yeah. But now, I don't know if I would anymore.
You don't need it.
Yeah. I think I would.
Yeah.
The one time, boom, that's it.
Yeah.
And your
You don't need
creative direction and what you got coming towards you, my brother, you good. The iLLANOiZE app is available now on Apple and Google Play Store. Download the app, get the latest news, stream our podcasts, watch interviews, and listen to iLLANOiZE Radio live. Download the app right now.
We're going to get into a very, 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 very important segment of this interview. I don't even think we've ever had an interview that's about to be this educational.
You're right about that.
So Ausar is actually a honeybee specialist.
Yeah.
And he recently dropped a project called Flight of the Honeybee. And now he's going to give us a very in-detail explanation about the life cycle of honeybees. Ausar?
Yeah.
Just put me on blast like that.
I don't know if I can give a in-depth
I'm just
analysis of the life cycle of a honeybee. You feel me? I can give a little information about a honeybee.
Or you could just give me a little insight behind Flight of the Honeybee
Yeah.
and what you meant by, what
Absolutely.
that meant to you.
So Flight of the Honeybee was kind of based off of a couple of different things, right? I'm kind of a weirdo. I like to look up random things. And one day, I don't know how I went down a rabbit hole of honeybees, but I did. And I kind of had some background info about them, like how much they contribute to society. Bees account for like 1/3 of the world's food population. Like if bees went extinct, 1/3 of the food that we eat would not exist.
Can you name one?
Huh?
Can you name one of those foods?
It's just
not
like fruits
honey.
and vegetables.
Okay,
like
gotcha.
yeah, they
Oh,
just,
because they help
Honey bunches
pollinate
of
and
oats?
stuff.
yeah.
You got honey bunches of
Yeah,
oats.
well, yeah, honey would also be gone.
Honey nut Cheerios. Okay.
Go
Honey
ahead.
grams.
Honey grams.
You feel me?
Honeycombs.
Honeycombs.
Honeycombs too. Yeah.
Hey,
You
listen,
got honey graham crackers. You could go a lot with what?
I'm trying to tell you, they essential. They essential.
Shout out to all the bees, essential workers out in these streets.
Yeah, no, but that's low key like part of the reason I picked them as the topic of this project, given the current climate of things and like everything that's going on in the world. I felt like there were so many parallels that could be pulled. How bees are often marginalized. I use bees as a metaphor for marginalized groups. How they're often marginalized. How a lot of times bees are often seen as these aggressive creatures when in all actuality they are not. They really only attack when they are like backed into a corner and they have something they need to defend that's theirs. That's the only time that bees attack. Another thing is like when you talk about things like honey, which is a resource that bees use their whole lives to make. And it's taken for consumption and monetization in a way that doesn't benefit bees at all. Like those type of concepts are so true to even the culture that we create in the world day to day, and how like the sauce that we take and put out into the world is then taken from us and used for consumption in a very different way, in a way that isn't monetized by us. Like all of these things put together.
Man is spitting.
Hey, listen, all of that put together, like it just really made sense to me. And it's interesting because this wasn't a concept I came in with. I got the beat for the intro from my homie Emmy. Shout out to Emmy. And it just felt like springtime. So it felt like springtime, and after I listened to it some more, it reminded me of this classical piece called Flight of the Bumblebee.
Play the bumblebee drumline.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's it reminded me of the classical piece. And so I just wrote about bees, and after delving into it for the intro track, I was just like, I can really separate this and really get in depth and make something cool out of this. So I just really went into it.
You really, really studied bees, bro. You became a biologist.
A beekeeper.
No cap though. Listening to the
beekeeper.
interview on Clubhouse, like Peter need to give you some kind of deal because I never felt that bad for an animal ever. I'm like, yo, I be really
Who's
abusing
Peter?
bees.
Who the fuck
Who's
is
Peter?
You know, that's the people that protect dogs and all that. They got Michael Vick
Pizza?
locked in the feds.
Jones just said Peter, and I'm like Peter
That's what-
Cottontail.
that's
I'm
his
like,
name,
why would
right?
he be breaking you off
Ain't
on
that the
behalf
name
of the
of him,
bees?
right?
Peter.
Yeah,
Peter,
right? All right, cool. I said it right. But now, like, I felt bad. Like, I'm listening to it. I'm like, man, like, this nigga really making me feel bad for bees. Like, I be on the hunt. Like, I see that little motherfucker right there. He'll smack motherfucking ass. Now you got to give him a pass. So I said, give the bees a pass. We got to give them a pass.
Please say the bees.
Have you
Say
ever,
the bees.
be real though, have you ever smacked or killed a bee?
Oh, absolutely. As a shorty, yeah,
I
absolutely.
got stung by a bee, so bees,
I did too.
you know, I know y'all.
So, like, I'm
is
traumatized. I got
necessary,
PTSD with bees.
right?
Yeah, but it's
You
it's
know,
a, it's a
Chicago
learning
people
and-
So you
PTSD
giving them
will do
passes
well.
now, though, right?
Yeah, I'm letting them rock. You feel me? As long as you don't bother them, for the most part, they're not gonna bother you. You know what I'm saying? Unless you next to something that really means something to them, then it's like, all right, you got to move around.
Yeah, as long as that's okay. So I just stay away from garbage cans outside.
And flowers.
Flowers too.
Yeah.
Don't
Women
be
love
wearing no
flowers.
sweet stuff.
Let
Let
them.
women-
perfumes and certain colognes.
I be around women, so that's sweet stuff.
Brother,
All right, I think we
brother,
should.
So, Flight of the Honeybee, you know, you really dove into really sharing a story about bees and reality.
Mm-hmm.
How was that for you? Merging the two and actually telling that story.
It was cool. I think it allowed me to flex a creative muscle that I kind of hadn't tapped into in a minute. I have been working on my album that I've been working on for years, right? Called David. And
Wait, no.
and long story short, like, I ended up burning myself out. I got overly stressed. I was in my head about it, and like, it got to a point where I hated everything. And so I had to walk away for a second. Not scrap it. It still exists, and it will have a release date, but I had to walk away. During that time period, I went to go work on this EP, and it gave me a whole different feeling, because it's one thing when you have a body of work that people have an expectation on, because they know it exists. It's another thing when you have another body of work that no one knows anything about, and you can sit and you can work on it and hone it in because there are no expectations. Like, no one knows this exists. So being able to really sit and work through that process and like be as creative as I wanted to, and really do the research and hone in and like make sure it was a cohesive story was something that was really, really cool to me. And I learned a lot. Like, I was able to take a lot of what I did for that process and apply it to even what I'm doing for my album. You know what I'm saying? So like, it was really cool. It was a whole lot of fun.
So considering that you went into it with, like low expectations, how did you feel about the reaction that you received from it?
Considering this is a 5-track EP, the reaction has been amazing. This is definitely the best response I've received from a body of work yet.
Do you think that all the time, like, that you've taken off from actually giving us full projects and just giving us a bunch of loosies and singles kind of contributed to the response that you got?
To a degree, yeah. I think so. I think, for one, I just hadn't released music in a long time.
Yeah, that's true. That too.
This year alone, I doubled my catalog. Like, I think I had like 15 songs out before 2020. And I put out an additional 12 or 13 more this year. So it definitely like built traction. And that's part of the reason I think I got a better response, is because I had momentum. Like, I had momentum leading up. And then there's just a lot of growth. I hadn't put out a body of work in 3 years. So like,
Yeah, we was talking about that in the car.
So,
We was talking about that.
6-page letter.
yeah.
Like, we was definitely listening to that in the car. Like, man, the
growth.
Then I was thinking too, while I was listening to the 6-page letter, was that like a letter to God? I'm just asking.
In a sense, there is some duality to it, because the original basis of it was a letter that was written to me from one of my homies in a time where I was like in a really, really dark place. And it was really a 6-page letter. But in that same way, like, it was kind of a memoir of everything that I was going through at the time. So it was kind of a two-edged sword, where it's like, this is literally based off a 6-page letter, but like, this is also a memoir, like, to everybody, so you all know what's been going on with me.
So it was like your response to the
letter. Gotcha.
Right.
I just want to know the meaning behind it.
Wait, okay. I hate to go back. Mm-hmm. I don't even know what I would do if I literally got a 6-page letter.
I don't even know if I read
so, like,
don't you ever write me a 6-page letter?
I was about to say, like, what was your reaction getting a 6-page letter?
I cried. I literally cried.
Did you cry because it was 6 pages and you had to read all of that? Or did you cry? I'm just playing.
Was it just that emotion?
Or did you cry because it made you feel good?
No, I don't know. I was it was during the first time I had gotten kicked out of school because of financial aid reasons. Because financial aid be on dirt.
Trust me, I know. I still, yeah.
So no, I just felt really defeated. Like I had gotten to college, I was doing what I was supposed to do, and then to get there, catch a stride, and then somebody tell me, yeah, you got to go to the crib. It's just like, dang, G, like
I put the whole life here already.
Yeah. And there were also some like disagreements on how it was going to be dealt with between me and my family, and like this was the first time I had kind of stepped out and made some decisions on my own that were contrary to what they wanted for me. So it felt a little challenging. Like I felt like, this wasn't necessarily the case, but when you're in a position like that, it feels like you kind of alone, And to have somebody realize what type of situation I'm in and write out a whole 6-page letter, basically like telling me to have faith, no God got control, like you got it, blah blah blah. That put me in a different space.
Like you poke your chest out, put your head up.
Yeah, definitely.
That's beautiful.
That's dope, man. Shout out to that friend, man.
Yeah, shout out to Chachi.
Make sure to check out the iLLANOiZE playlist, in which we provide you with the latest tracks we play live on our show. Head over to Spotify and search iLLANOiZE Radio to follow our playlist, as well as follow our podcast. Now let's get back to the show.
I got my boy Ausar in the building.
Yes, sir.
What's poppin', Slime?
Yeah, we coolin'.
So,
he's coolin'.
I was listening to the interviews on the Clubhouse joint. Mm-hmm. You feel me? And I'm like, damn, this nigga smart. Like he's smart, because he just like finessed the whole bee game up. Yeah, and like he got me liking bees and looking at bees different. So I wanted to know, like the whole time you were studying bees, like. Did you relate to them or find anything within yourself that you can compare to bees?
One of the things that rang true throughout that I thought was really dope, and like I also try to keep in mind personally, is like the thought of the hive mentality. Like everyone working together towards the betterment of the whole. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's like a sense of community. And I think with everything that I do, even with my mission statement as an artist, like I try to be as selfless as possible, because I realize in life, like life isn't about you. Right. It's about, making sure the people around you are in a better place and you doing something better for the world around you. So that's probably what resonated most with me while researching and working on this project.
Oh, damn. See, not only that, you genuine. You smart and you genuine. You an ill guy, bro.
I'm
dope, man. I'm just honored that I know him. You feel me? I'm just honored. I know a guy I know about bees. I got my mans over there. He taught me about bees over here. Oh, you got to be careful. You can't just kill bees no more.
You can't just kill bees.
What's your favorite? What was something that shocked you about bees that you didn't even know about?
Bees have a way to communicate with each other. That's like in how they buzz. Yeah, it's
and you would buzz.
I wish we have that on mic. I wish we have that sound bite.
Yeah, she's funny.
I'm sorry, I quit. I'm not gonna say nothing else.
Hilarious.
No, but it's in how they buzz. Even in terms of like sharing location with each other, there are certain patterns in how they buzz while around the hive to let you know,
dropping
like,
low.
This is where we getting ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah, and I thought that was pretty cool.
That's pretty dope as hell. Like, wow. Your buzz, like, I want to listen to their buzz. Like, let's put a bunch of bees in a little jar and let's hear how they buzz.
Yeah.
You good luck catching some bees to put
in a jar.
It's
people out there that do it. I mean,
true.
A lot of beekeepers do that.
True. Yeah. Is that is beekeepers? Is that like abusive? Like, should people go lock them up for that?
Damn, that's actually a good question.
It can be like if you're doing it to like
exploit the bees.
If you're doing it to exploit them, that's different. But if you're doing it to save a colony, because there are a lot of times where like there are actually bees have like other insects that prey on them and will prey on a hive and like destroy a hive.
Who prey on bees?
Like there are other insects that
Winnie the Pooh?
Nigga.
All right, turn his mic off. Just turn it off. I ain't said that in
Beyond
3
Winnie the Pooh.
seasons.
Okay.
No, there are other insects that do. So, like when a hive is destroyed, a lot of times some beekeepers will take the bees that they can salvage and put them in a those crates that you see that they have bees in. Yeah, those are called apiaries. So they'll take them and put them in apiaries and like let them live there until they figure it out.
Okay.
But if you're just doing it for like honey and it's kind of.
I think 90% of them is doing it for the money.
Yeah.
That honey
So
money.
Our bees
money.
near being
That
extinct?
honey money is good money.
Indeed.
So our
honey
bees.
money is good money.
I'm trying.
Go ahead.
Jones to shut up. Damn.
It was locked down. We having a real man conversation.
All right, don't ever say you locked out with another man on camera like that.
Pause. No Sandusky, folks. Like, come on now. You know me better than that.
I know. I just had to.
I said locked in.
Anyways, so
Y'all are funny.
so are bees near extinction? Do you know that?
Bees are an endangered species right now.
Okay,
Really?
so they are endangered.
Yeah.
That's what
Bees
I
are
meant.
endangered.
Not extinct. Well, that's what.
That's because they be out longer than they supposed to. It's still bees outside now.
So yeah, he got a point. Because I'm like, ain't you supposed to be happening?
Like, what actually
You're supposed
happens
to
to
be
bees
gone.
in the wintertime? Like, do they just freeze and die?
Now they go home
Home where?
to the south.
But the South sometimes be cold too, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I don't know what happened.
He like, look, I know something.
I studied it a little
They
bit.
just go down the whole
Yeah,
bee
that I don't
path,
know.
like
That I don't
people
know.
around
I'm gonna
these
go
specials.
home and look it up now. But
And be like, yo,
Right now?
look, the bees do this.
Okay, wait. So wait. Speaking of bees and beekeepers, break down the actual artwork for Flight of the Honeybee, because it was
Yeah.
actually like really dope, and I know it kind of had that like beekeeper concept. So break it down for us, please, darling.
So first of all, shout out to Andre Ducci, who is the illustrator who did the cover art for Flight of the Honeybee and my last 3 releases. He did like 2 for the Road with On the Road and Moesha. He did Cluttered Thoughts, and he did the Sunday Morning Cleaning joint. But long story short, the actual basis of the cover, when you look on it, there's a beekeeper in the background that's holding a section out of a apiary, which once again is what you keep bees in. Within the honeycombs in the apiary, it's people who are like working desk jobs, who kind of are just kind of locked into the system, like they working. And then around it, you have people who are like flying out of the apiary, and they are people who are like musicians or writers or doctors, just people who like I deemed as essential in the society. And I kind of use it as a metaphor to the people in the apiary being people who are like under some form of control. And the people who are outside of it are the ones who have kind of found their own purpose and are doing their own thing and are free. And I don't know, I have them working within the apiary because I use the beekeeper as a metaphor as someone who's like profiting directly off of the work that these people are putting in. The man, exactly.
This is so dope to listen to you break it down. I'm sorry.
It's
Continue.
a real
Yeah, like
death.
yeah.
It's like hip hop in a sort of a situation.
Yeah, exactly.
dope.
Like a record label, whole thing.
Yeah, it can be interpreted in a lot of different ways. Yeah.
Oh, I like that. On
For
pointness. Yeah,
those who
just-
can't see it.
And speaking of you interpreting, I can't get it out.
got it.
Interpreting?
It's the damn John Basil. I hope I said it right. Anyway, comic book. If I'm not mistaken, you turned things into a comic book.
Indeed. Yeah. It was based off of that same concept. I wanted to give, like, I don't know, I know that the concept behind the EP is kind of heady. So I was like, I want to kind of prime people to know what direction I'm going in before you get to it, so you kind of can already have those thoughts. So the comic book kind of depicts, current events. How, I think it's though conflict may arise, bees always find a way to adapt and overcome. And then the ending words are like, be a bee, save the world. And so it's just kind of drawing that parallel once again, showing how, and because on the comic book, I think it mentions like the whole COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of the social justice issues that were and are currently going on. There's like the illustration of them tearing down that statue, and like people protesting, things of that nature. And then on the flip side of the panel are like bees and them working in their natural habitat, things like that. So like it's just to continue to draw those parallels and get people locked in.
That's some in-depth
Smart motherfucker right here, man.
Yeah, I like even just listening to you break that down. Like, what really went into the marketing rollout for this? Because like just being a fan of your work for a long time and just keeping up with your career, I feel like this has definitely been your most extensive rollout. And something that's been the most well developed. And I think that was something that made this a lot more enjoyable. So like how you just talked about the comic book. Like, what were some of the other like very cool things that you enjoyed the most about the marketing rollout for this project?
So here's the thing about me in general. Most times when I'm done with something, I want to put it out the next day. I don't want to wait because I get anxious sitting on stuff like, because then I want to go back and nitpick at it. Like, okay, it's sitting here. Let me go see if I can do this differently. How are people going to react to this? I overanalyze it. This was the first time where, one, I have a larger team now, so that helped a whole lot, like immensely. Two, this is the first time where no one budged and they were like, "Nah, you gonna sit down and we gonna really roll this out the correct way." So sit tight. We gonna get every facet of this correct, and you gonna be all right. And I didn't have no choice but to roll with it.
You was outvoted.
Yeah, I was outvoted, and so
how was that though? How was that for you to have to take that back seat to that part?
It was uncomfortable at first, but I took it with a grain of salt because I'm like, I know this is for my betterment. I know at the end of the day, this is going to give me better results. I just don't want to hear it because I'm anxious, But it really allowed us to do something totally different. This is 100% the most extensive rollout we've had.
Yeah.
And we're not done. We're not done. We still have more to roll out. So it's like, this put us in a position where while we're in the midst of a pandemic, we can continue to push this project the way it's supposed to be pushed. Like, we got time. And I think that's the dopest part about it. I'm not rushing to put out no new content because we got stuff in the works. We can keep rolling this out.
So, hearing you speak on that, what did you learn during this pandemic personally? What did you learn about yourself?
I think what I learned and tried to implement most was just discipline. I think I do a lot of things well, but if I had to think about what my Achilles heel is as a person and as an artist, it's just like being more disciplined. And when faced with adversity, a lot of times my coping mechanism is just like, I don't care. It is what it is. And just kind of restructuring my thought process to be like, no, it's not, I don't care. It is what it is. It's like, what did you learn from this? What did you learn from this? How do you apply it for next time so that you don't go through this again? Because if you're not doing that, you're not learning anything. So I think that's the biggest thing I learned throughout this entire pandemic thus far, because I've had time to sit and really process it.
Damn, and it's showing. I mean, this project is amazing, bro. Like you learned about bees, my brother. you took time out to step out your box.
Ain't a lot of black dudes out here stepping out to learn about bees, bro. No sir.
That's extremely different. So
hey, it was a lot of fun.
The only bumblebee we know is the Transformer.
Who was equally raw.
Yeah,
who was equally raw.
Like listening to your project, I mean, y'all listening, definitely check this man project out because you're gonna learn something. I mean, let people know where they can get this project at and how they can, of course, follow you on social media and what's to come.
Yeah, you can find this project on all streaming platforms, including Bandcamp. We just uploaded it on there for anybody who really rocks with Bandcamp. You just search me under Ausar, that's AUSAR. And you can find me on all social media under Ausar Music, AUSAR Music. In terms of what's to come, we got a lot in store. I think we got like maybe one or two joints that we might actually get out the woodworks too before the year is over. So, just
are these deluxes? Is this
deluxes? I don't know.
I mean, not deluxe. No, I didn't mean to say deluxe. I meant to say bonus tracks. Not
these you could call them bonus tracks. You could call them bonus tracks. Yeah.
I see the Stinger hoodie.
Oh, you talking about the merch?
Yeah, is the merch available?
The merch will be here very, very, very shortly, like within the next couple of weeks.
Okay, because I like that joint. I like that joint a lot.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you stopping by, man.
It's been a minute.
We had to reschedule a couple times.
Since October. Look, we got to start coming in. Now we're going to do it. Start next week. We got to start next week. So it's start coming in? No, we're going to go next week. We got to start. We're going to start Sunday. Sunday.
And then Sunday come around. out. And
Here you
there's no
go.
interview on
Sunday, now you
Sunday.
know I don't like putting on clothes on Sunday. I watch football in my underwear now.